sort of 4-2 win. What are your thoughts on the game?
Initially, I feel like I probably didn't enjoy it as much as I should have done, because I thought we were tremendous today, but we also made it a little bit hard work for ourselves, really, just through. I think the first goal we've given them just invites them back into a game that they just were never really in. And it's just probably an error giving the ball away led to a corner and then just switching off and people just not getting organised quickly enough. So that's something that we have to learn from, because I felt really at half time. We probably should, not could, but probably should have been 3-0 up, 4-0 up. We scored 2 goals from just making good decisions, really, recognising where the space was, committing runners into the space, good execution of passes beyond, ruthless finishing, capitalising on an error. Will Harris for the first one, great finish by Cookie for the second one. And Hamami's had one disallowed where if he is offside, he doesn't need to be offside. Jay Turner-Cook's gone through on a good little bit of football, up back through. So I felt that we had opportunities there where we should have scored more than the 2 in the first half, but then to go and let them back into the game was just a bit frustrating. And it was important that in that second half we got the next goal. So really good finish by Cookie, who I thought was excellent today. And from then, really, when it went to 3, we obviously got the 4th. We probably should have had 5 or 6 in truth, and then just disappointed again with the second goal, because 4-2 makes the game look closer than I believe it was. But look, massive credit to the players, not just today but this week. That's 3 games in 8 days, and we've took 9 points, and that really takes some doing. So it's been a great effort this week, and it's certainly helped us, getting them wins, and it's important now that we rest and recover and back in Monday working hard, ready for the next game.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely perfect start. 2 goals inside of a quarter of an hour, and just nice to get ourselves out in front for the first time.
Yeah, and it was something that we spoke about in the meeting before the game. Was we have fallen behind, quite a few times, and we've showed unbelievable character to turn results around. But the game is so much different when you take the lead. The opposition have to come out and they give you space, and we're a real threat, when teams have to come out against us, as you saw numerous times today. So it was great to get off to a good start. A good pass by Sean Hobson into the space. Will Harris just not giving up on something. Bit of confusion between one of their defenders and the goalkeeper, and Will, puts it into the empty goal, and great for him. And obviously then Cookie, not too long afterwards, similar really. Sean Hobson, no pressure on the ball, they're quite high. Cookie makes a brilliant run behind, well timed run and a well-weighted pass into the space behind, and Cookie, really good finish. So that obviously got us on our way. But I felt at 2-0, some of our play was, the principles of how we want to be in possession of the ball. I saw, lots and lots of good traits in our play and good examples and decision making with our use of the ball. It would have just been nice if we'd have, capitalised on that dominance really and got at least one more goal for it. But look, lots of promising signs today, and we've obviously won the game today in a completely different way to which we've won the last 2, and that again just shows the adaptability in the group of players that we've got.
As you mentioned, obviously slightly disappointing to concede just before the half time, with Aldershot's really only spell of possession with those corners.
Yeah, but we brought it on ourselves. I don't like to speak about individuals, but I think going back to the build up to that goal, I think Will Hugels tried to make a pass out from the middle of the pitch out to the side. He's under it, the pass, and then they've latched onto it and they've broke on us. That's then led to the corner, and then just not. We know exactly what they want to do off corners. They send two out quite a lot, and Josh Barrett's a very good player and a clever player, and he'll move the ball, and if you're not switched on, good players punish you, and that's exactly what they did, just through our own doing, really, that's the most frustrating thing. But it was important then in that second half that we reacted and we just reset a little bit, and we got back to doing the things that we'd done so well in the first half, and we were confident that if we could do that we'd pose that threat, and hopefully that'd see us get more chances and maybe score the next goal, which we did. And I think from when it went to 3, the result really was always going to be ours, and it was just a case of could we keep the back door shut, and could we maybe get 1 or 2 more goals, and we managed to get a 4th. Should have had 1 or 2 more really, and then just obviously that twinge of disappointment in conceding such a soft second goal. But we're being critical, really for them moments, because we've scored 4 goals and we've got another 3 points, and obviously it's brought to an end what's been a very fruitful week for us.
Yeah, and as you said, obviously Aldershot maybe had a decent spell just after the break, but then once Cookie got that his second of the day, things felt comfortable again.
Yeah, but you expect that from Aldershot. They're a good team. They're a dangerous team. They've been scoring a hell of a lot of goals. They've got some very good individuals in there. So, no game's easy at this level, but I think, we kind of knew how they'd want to play the game, and I feel like we showed them the respect that they're due, by really trying to cancel out, particularly them in the middle of the pitch, because they've got some really good players who, if they get them on the ball often enough, they can hurt you. And I felt we did that pretty well, really, throughout the game. It's probably more on transitions, really, where they hurt us, or where they looked like they might hurt us. But I felt our use of the ball, probably throughout the game, really was very, very good. And yeah, they're a decent side and they score goals, but we knew that they concede goals as well. So it was about being organised, being disciplined, waiting for our moments, using the ball well, being good on transition. And I felt we were pretty much all them things today.
And as you mentioned, obviously 3 wins on the bounce, all against high-scoring sides as well.
Yeah, we knew coming into this week that the 3 teams that we were going to be coming up against they'd been scoring quite a lot of goals, but they'd been conceding quite a lot of goals as well. So, the message really all week was organisation and discipline will probably win the day. And, showing each opponent the respect that they deserve, trying to nullify their threat and reduce, them doing the things that they want to do and that they do so well, to a minimum, but then having that positivity to our play, where we knew and we know we can hurt teams, and I think the players all week, tactically, I think we've been spot on, and I said it after the Morecambe game. All me and the staff can do is do our own work on the opposition, put a plan in place, present it to the players, and ultimately it's up to them to go on the pitch and deliver it, and they've executed incredibly well this week, and they've got the rewards for it, and I'm really, really pleased for them.
Of course, that gives us perfect momentum going into Derby Day on Wednesday nights. We go to Rochdale. Yeah,
very good team. I've seen that they've won today as well away at Carlisle, so they're a good side. I watched them a couple of weeks ago in the National League Cup against Blackburn. They obviously made a lot of changes in that game. Sam had a look at them last week against Solihull, and they're a good side. They were up there last year. They've obviously had continuity there now with the manager being in place for quite a while, and you can see that they're a well coached, well drilled team. They've got a very clear identity on how they want to play the game, and when they get it going, they're very effective. So we know it's going to be a difficult game, but what we've been demonstrating now is that we're a good team as well. Our identity is getting better all the time. The players, I think, are getting better all the time. We've only lost 1 in 9 now, you know, so we're in good form. We've won the last 3. I think we've won 4 of our last 5. So we're doing a lot of good work ourselves. But we know it's going to be a difficult game Wednesday. But it's just the same as every other game. You know, Aldershot was difficult, Morecambe was difficult, Rochdale will be difficult. So it's important the players rest up tomorrow, and you know we'll be back on the training ground Monday, Tuesday, and putting a plan in place, and hopefully you know we can go to Rochdale and put in another good performance, and if we do that, then we've got to be confident we can get some kind of result again.
Thank you.